Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at the use of Microsoft Word. Very important to know this because every computer user must know this. Whether you are in school or you are at work, you cannot use a computer without knowing how to use Microsoft Word. But before you use Microsoft Word, you should have this software installed on your computer, which is Microsoft Office. Okay, so in Microsoft Office, you have the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, and many others. Okay, but we will be focusing on Microsoft Word. It's very powerful. We don't only use it for typing. You can use it to create certificates, to create programs. You can even use it to design your own logos and letterhead if you know it very well. So it's very interesting to use it to create your tables or your work stuff. You can create it using Microsoft Word. Okay, so let's begin. You just go to your search button and you type Word. Okay, once you type Word, it will pop up, then you click and it's gonna open like this as you see here. Okay, so this is the page where we do the typing. You see this one is moving like this. It means you start typing. Okay, so your keyboard first, let me show you. I think you are familiar with it by now. We have all the letters here, and these are the numbers. Okay, the numbers, you also find some of them here. And we have the space bar. If you type and you want to leave a space, you click here to leave a space. You click, it will leave a space. And then we have enter and backspace. We'll be talking about all these. Okay, so let's go and type something briefly. So I go back to Microsoft Word, the page that I have opened. We are okay. So when you want to type a capital letter, we have many ways. Okay, back to the keyboard. You can first click on caps lock. Once you click on caps lock, any letter you type will come as capital letter or uppercase. Okay. Then if you want to deactivate the capital, click on the same button and it will come to small letters. Another way of typing a capital letter is to start with shift. One finger presses on the shift and the other finger goes to the letter that you want to put in capital. Okay, so it's very simple. So when I type the first word, maybe we, before I go to R, I have to use space bar to leave a space. Okay, so if you are a beginner, you can just follow these basic tips. So we, then the R, I leave a space. That's the space bar. Then I click on R. Going to have our new project in the month of December. Okay, December. Okay. Now you see, if I keep typing, by the time I get to the end, okay, it has a certain range that the words can occupy. Okay, we call something margin. There are spaces that are left on all the four sides of this page that the words cannot get there. Okay, once it get there and I'm still typing, it will automatically move to the next line for me to type. Okay, our company is interviewing 500 candidates to occupy some key positions before the commencement of this project. Okay, full stop. Okay, so you can type something like this. Okay, now before you start typing, these are some of the things that you may wish to do. Okay, you go here, we call this font style. Okay, the font style, it looks like this. Let's click on this arrow. You see, you have different styles. That is how your text is going to look like. For example, if I want to select this, you just click on the left side, the other finger move all over it. This is selection. Okay, so let's come back here, click, then you let's put on any of them. You see that it's changing. With the one that you put on it, it will display exactly the same way. Okay, so we can pick a font style. For official document, many people either use Calibri or Times New Roman or Arial. Okay, I generally prefer Arial. Okay, for typing official document. Then you may also wish to adjust the font size. Okay, the standard size is size 12. You click on the big A here, and the small a will make it smaller. Okay, it decreases it. Then as I click on the big A, it makes it larger. I hope you can see that. You click each time you click. Or you can use the arrow next to the 20, and then you select the exact font size that you want. You just click, and that's it. As simple as that. Okay, so you can either finish typing and go and select it, or before you start. But I prefer before you start, you check here, you set your font style, then you set your font size before you start doing what I have already typed. Okay, so you do the typing briefly. Let me show you a few things you may want to look for. I have explained how to leave a space between maybe going and then to, using the space bar. Okay, then we also have other things. So this one here, we use it to create a space, okay, between two words. Then we have the full stop here. You see full stop is here, and we have the comma also over here. But you see where the comma is, we have two symbols, less than and then a comma. Normally, once you press, it's the lower key that will display. If you want the upper key, you have to press shift, then next you press this. So but it should go at the same time. So one finger will be on shift and the other finger presses this button, then the less than symbol will appear. The same for the next one. Once you press straight away, it is the lower one that will show. But if you want the greater than, one finger must press on shift and the other one on this button, then you then get the greater than. It applies to the rest of them. All those buttons with two symbols, upper and lower, once you press directly, you get the lower one. But if you want the upper one, then you have to combine it with shift. Okay, so let's go back here and continue our typing work. So let's say I've typed this and I want to do what we call formatting. Formatting is like to add some features to modify your work, to make it look maybe nicer than it is, or to arrange it in a certain way. Okay, then we'll do formatting. And also before the formatting, let's say I type to here. I can continue typing and it will keep on going. Once it gets to the margin, it rolls over to the next line. But let's say over here, I want to move to the next paragraph. What must I do? I must use the button called enter. Okay, so you have enter on your keyboard over here. So enter will move it to the next line. Enter will move it again. As you keep on pressing enter, it keeps moving down and down. Then backspace reverses the action done by enter. Backspace will bring it up. Okay, so let's go and try these two buttons. So I'm over here, I click enter, you see it comes to the next line. If I click enter again, it goes. Then if I want to move up, this is where I'll use backspace. The arrow that is pointing towards the left side. Backspace will be moving it up and up and up, you see. And then backspace also has another use. We will talk about it later. So let me go down, enter. Okay, so this project will start tomorrow at 7 a.m. prompt. Okay, all right, so we have this. Okay, then let's do some formatting. I can select all of the text here or a part of the text. If I want to select everything, I'll use Control plus A, Control A, Control A. It select everything. Or I will click where I want to highlight from or select from. Maybe it's from the Wii. So I left click on the mouse, then I use the other finger to move to the right side and cover the whole space. So this is a selection. Then after the selection, maybe I want to now adjust the font size. It doesn't matter whether I started with 12, but I can still adjust it anytime I feel like. So I can go here and increase it to 14, to 16, and so on. I can bring it down, you see, or I can click on the arrow here. So it's all up to you, okay? Then the font style also, I can change it anytime I feel like, I can change it anytime. It doesn't mean that after typing a page and you feel like you want to change the font style, you will not be able to do that. No, you can do that anytime you feel like. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so another thing we can do, we can bolding the text. But bolding, we normally apply bolding for like headings. Okay, let's say I want to put a heading I forgot. Okay, so you just click in front of the we, then I put the heading project, type project 2021. Then you use the enter button to move that line, the we, from that side. You want to move it to the next line. So you see the cursor is in front of we. Then you press enter, it will move it to the next line. I can leave another space, clicking enter again, right? So you saw what we did. We didn't put what we call it, the title, but then when we remembered, we still could do that. Okay, I should leave a space here. So click here between the T and the 2 and use your space bar. Okay, so it's usually this one that we may want to head in it, or even make it much bigger. I mean, we may want to bold in it, sorry, and also what do you call it, center it, and then underline and do all those kinds of formatting. So I'll first increase the font size. Okay, then I'll bold in it here, right? Then this is underline. Okay, this one is what italics. You know, it makes it tilt in a certain way. Okay, if you want italics, you can do that, but I don't want it. So I just want underline. You click the underline. We have different lines. If you want, you can click on this arrow. You have double line, we have a thick line, and so on and so forth. You have dotted line. You can see, you can just play around it, but many people use the first one, right? Just normal underline, then you go. So with normal underline, you don't need to click on the arrow. Just here, click underline. Okay, let's say I don't want the underline anymore. I select the whole thing, then I go and click the same place, underline. It will remove it. You see that? Let's say I don't want this bolding anymore. I select first, and then I go and click. So anything you want to do, any action, you have to select the whole thing before you go and do the action. So bold, it will bolden it. I click again, it will undo the action, right? Underline, it will underline. Once I click again, it will undo the action. So I guess it's quite simple. Let me underline and bolden again. Then I may want it to be in the center or in the middle. So here we call it alignment. Okay, this one, make sure that your text is going to the left side. That's left align. And then this one is, it centers it. Okay, once I click, see the action, it brings it to the center. This one is right alignment. Okay, and justify, we'll talk about it soon. Okay, so these three, you must know them. It's very easy to use. This is left, this is, I mean, sorry, middle or center, and this is left, and then and so on and so forth. So let's make it in the middle. Okay, so that's it. And maybe I want to give it even a color. You can give it a color. Okay, so we come here to font color. You see the arrow here, that small arrow, click on it. I can give it a color, right? Very nice. And you see this symbol here, it can put it in a stylish form. We call it text effect. I click here. If I want a stylish effect, you see any of them that you want, just click. And then here we have outline, shadow, and stuff like that. You click, you see the effect, the one that you want, select. You see, it can give a shadow effect. So if you have time, just play around these things. They are quite interesting, okay? So I'm just giving you the introduction or the basic thing so that you'll be able to continue from here. Now look at project 2021. And let me go to December, okay? I want to show you something here. This is text color, and let's go here. We call it highlighter, okay? So text highlight color. So click on this arrow. I want you to see the difference between the two. Okay. Okay, this one is too dim. So let me choose this one here. Do you see any difference here? Yes, the difference is that this one is like you have painted or brushed over the surface. You are using highlight or highlighter. But here it is the text, the letters themselves that you have given color to. Here, the letters are still in black, but you have painted over them, okay? So that's the highlighter. You can use it. If you don't want it anymore, you select it. Then you go to the same place where you click the highlight and say no color. You see, it's as simple as that, okay? So that's it. Then the justification, you may not experience it nicely here. Normally when you have a long, let's say like half of the page, you see here, the left side, they are all lined up nicely. But the right side, they are not lined up nicely, okay? Let's say, let me add this one here. Let me copy this and also paste a copy here. Okay, sorry, let me explain what I have just done. What I just did is, let me undo it. Undo, if you want to reverse an action, you press Control plus Z. It reverses the action you did. Or you come to this here, we have this symbol that turning backwards is undo. And then if you undo something and you want it back, you do redo, okay? So it will bring back what you just reversed. Okay, so I just wanted to copy this. So I clicked on the left side, I selected all. Then on my keyboard, I press Control C. Control C is copy. Or just go to this space that you have selected, right click and select copy. Okay, then you go and click where you want to paste. I want to paste here, I click. and then you just use the shortcut Control V, it will paste. Or you right click, then you select paste. The first option is okay. Okay, so now I want us to see how to use this symbol here called justify. So I can select this whole thing, okay, or even the whole page. Now, justify, you see, it makes the left side and the right side, both sides become aligned, okay? You see the right side, you see, it's not in a straight line. It doesn't line up properly. But once we click justify, it makes the right side line up just as we have on the left side. So normally it makes your work look very neat, okay, and easy to read, okay. Then as we talk about justify, you see we have this thing here, very important, that only a few people know how to use. We call it line spacing, okay. It leaves a space between two lines, any two lines, okay. So let's use it so that you see the effect. It's now at 1.15. When I click on 1, you see it's getting so closer between the lines. Look at 1.5, look at 2, look at 2.5. As you put it on it, you see it's widening the gap, okay. We call it line space. So if I want 3.0 is too much, normally I prefer 1.5. And if I want to space out so nicely that it will be so easy for anyone to read, I used to. Otherwise, 1.5, I think it's fine by me. So many people can read, this kind of line spacing, okay. So that's it. So we have our first document typed in Microsoft Word. The major features you may need: capital letter, small letters. We've discussed them. How to underline, how to put a color to your text, how to highlight your text, how to move to the next line. And then another important thing before we leave, you want to delete something. Let's say the senior, I'm writing senior, then I made it like this. The senior supervisor, I also spelled supervisor wrong, okay. Let's say I spelled it wrong, okay. Gave a directive to all junior workers to report to our branch manager before the commencement I'll make some mistakes intentionally of this project, okay. So I put my full stop. You can see there are a number of errors to be corrected, okay. So if you want to correct, it's so simple. Let's say here commencement, I want to get rid of the Y. Two options. I can click on the right side of the Y so that I see the scales are moving like that. Then I use my backspace. You saw the backspace. So when it comes to delete, we use two buttons, either the backspace or the delete button. This is delete, DEL, or the backspace, okay. So let's go and see. Backspace actually delete from the right side to the left side. So once I click on backspace, it's going to delete the Y. If I click again, it will delete the T. If I click again, it will delete what? N. Okay, so let me undo this. Control Z to reverse all the action, okay. But if I use delete, let's say I click on between this T and N, I click there between T and N. Now the delete button delete from the left to the right. So if I click on delete, it is not the T that will delete, it is the N. Then the T to the right and then the Y. So that's the difference between delete and backspace. One delete from the left to the right and the other delete from the right to the left, depending on where you are going to click, okay. So commencement, okay. So let me click in between the M and the T and then insert the remaining characters, okay. So here to senior, so I have to delete the A, so I can click between A and R and use backspace, then put O there. Another thing is, sometimes when you see the red line or the blue line or green line and it's trying to let you know that the word is wrong, you can ask the computer to suggest the right spelling, okay, by right clicking on the space. Then you see that it has suggested a proper way of spelling it. So you can just click and it will just insert the right spelling for you so that you don't waste time. So that's how we use the backspace or the delete button to delete if something is not put in the right order. So that's it. And then let's see. So let me show you how to use these symbols quickly. Okay, this one is the strike through. Let's say I want to strike through something like cancel. So I can cancel this whole thing. just select the text that you want to strike through. You click, then it strikes through it. Okay, so click outside, you can see. So we call it strike through. Okay, but the problem is after striking through it, you have to click to deselect it. Otherwise, the next thing you type, it will also be strike through. But you don't want the next one to be like that. Okay, so just click to deselect so that it becomes deactivated, or you remove the function so that you can start typing. So so the next meeting will accommodate all the junior workers. Okay, so that is strike through. Okay, now we have this here subscript and superscript. Okay, like you want to write a symbol, like in science they have something like oxygen, O2. Okay, so if you want to write oxygen, which is O2, right, the O, let me make capital later, and the 2. So before the 2 you can click here, then you type your 2, so it becomes a smaller 2 here. That is the subscript. Okay, but when you move, you go to the space, okay, and then you want to type, this command is still active. So anything you type from here will still be like very small. So you have to click on it to deactivate it. Okay, then you can now move on to another thing. Anything you want to type is up to you. Okay, oxygen and let's say nitrogen, or okay, anything. So nitrogen, first of all type N2 like this. That's another option. Then after that, I select only the 2. Then I click this so that it will make it smaller. Or if I want it to make it like an exponent, then I click here. Okay, so depending on how you want it to look like, you see that the changes are taking place here. So that's how we use these two symbols. Okay, all right. So basically, it's very simple. It's very simple. And here we call it clear formatting. Where is it? This is what I'm looking for, to clear the formatting. Okay, so if you want to clear the actions that you have done, once you click, it will remove all the commands that you added after the typing. Okay, so we call it clear formatting. So it makes it bare, like the raw form when you started. Okay, so undo, you click here, it removes all the changes you made, and it keeps the text in the raw form. Okay, so that is another command. Okay, so we've learned how to use all these commands, very powerful commands. Okay, let me increase the font size of this side here. Okay, it's now in Calibri, though I was typing in Arial, but let me leave it like that. Well, let's scroll down here, and I click. I want to move to the next line, so I use Enter on my keyboard. Okay, then I type, we are coming back, we are coming back soon. Okay, we are coming back soon. Okay, so I want to list a group of people, a group of names, okay, who will be coming, and I want to make it like points or bulletin. Okay, so we call these ones bulletin. So look at the arrow here. I want to list some names. Michael is coming. Okay, then once I click on enter, it will produce the next bullet for me. Then I type Richard is coming. I go, so we have these bulletin, they make your work presentation very nice. Ernest, Rita, Angela, Letitia, Ruth, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we call it bulletin. I can select all of them as a matter of fact. Okay, and change this bulletin style. Okay, so I go to this place again. Okay, I can change it to a dot. The one that you want to use, it's all up to you. Okay, I may want to use like 1 2 3 or ABCD or I and stuff like that, Roman numerals, and so you just change it. That's bulletin for you. Okay, it's very nice to use. Okay, so these are some of the things that you have to know when you are typing in Microsoft Word. So our first lesson will be based on this. Now over here, okay, you can just zoom out and zoom in. Okay, if I want the page to be very small, I just go here. You see, it can be very small, 20%. I've had moments where people came to me to report to me about a problem with their computer, and it was a matter of zooming in and zooming out. Okay, and yes, they will go and pay money for a technician to fix this. It's not a problem. You just have to have knowledge of this. Okay, so let's zoom in, then it becomes bigger. Normally, we prefer leaving it at 100%. Here too, we normally type in the print layout. Sometimes it will appear like this, and you get so confused. You don't know what is happening to your page. Just close it, on the right side. Okay, then it will come normal, or it may be in the web view. You see, it's in the web view. We don't want it. So look at it here. You see, then you just go and click on the print view or the print layout. So we have different views. If it switches, please just don't panic. Come back here and you get it. And then here too, we are in page 1. Okay, word count all the text. You see, it says all the words that we have typed. If you count 1, 2, 3, all the words we have typed 101. So if you are doing a project and they say type 500 or 5,000 words, you don't have to count yourself, because it's gonna count everything for you. Okay, and the pages also, which page you are on, you will know. Let's say I click on enter, it will now move to the next page as I put I keep pressing on enter. So now we are on page 2 of 2. You understand? So we can type anything, then we can type anything. As we are typing, the word count is increasing. You see, it's increasing. So I can click on enter and it will go to the next page, or I can keep on typing. As I keep on typing and it gets to this bottom, automatically it moves to the next page, right? So these are some of the things you have to know. We are now on page 3 of 3. Okay, so I can go up here, scroll up and see what is happening up there. The last thing for now, we haven't finished. This is just the introduction so that you don't get confused. We can save our work. Normally, when you start typing, it appears here as maybe document 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So I want to save this. I go to file. Okay, you click on file. Then you go to save as. If it is your first time, you use save as. Okay, so a dialog box will open for us. Then you type the name of this project. Okay, let's call it project 2021. It even suggested that name. If you prefer, leave it. If you want to change it, as it is blue like this, just type. This one will erase. Or just click and then use backspace or delete to delete this. But don't waste time, just type. Once you see this blue highlight, type a name. Now, before you save, click save here. Check where you want to save your work. Normally, if you don't choose a place, by default, it goes to document, or automatically it goes to a document. But you can change the location either to your USB or to desktop. So I prefer desktop. Once you click desktop, the name must appear here. You can see that. Now I can come here and click save. So you see, as we change the name, now it has changed from document to what? Project 2021. It means your work is saved. Now we can close this peacefully. Okay, so once you look on your desktop, you should find the work. I can double click and check whether what we typed is still there. So let's make it big. You can see everything is here intact. So that is the end of our first lesson in Microsoft Word. Thank you and God bless you.